It's been just over a week into the new NBA season, and there are 5 teams that you need to start paying real attention to right now, because each of them is already shifting the balance in the NBA. And the first team that I want to touch on is the Houston Rockets. Yes, they've started 1-2, but I'm really not worried about this group whatsoever. If anything, I'm actually encouraged by what we've seen so far. They lost 2 really close games to Oklahoma City and Detroit to open up the year, but both of those games could have gone either way. And then they came out and absolutely demolished the Brooklyn Nets 137-109. But it is not the win itself that has me optimistic. It's the foundation of what we've actually seen through the first 3 games. This isn't last season's grinded out, slow-paced, ugly offense Houston Rockets anymore. With Kevin Durant now pulling defenses apart from even 30 feet away from the hoop, Houston finally has some offensive gravity. And for the first time in that 3rd game against Brooklyn, the execution caught up to the potential and everything clicked. The coaching staff made it a point to feed Durant the ball early. He took 8 out of his 14 shots in the first quarter and just completely changed the rhythm of the game. He did not even need to touch the floor in the 4th quarter because the lead was already that far out of hand. Every time KD got the ball, it either led to an open look or it forced the defense to scramble. And for the first time in this season, the Rockets were able to capitalize. The ball movement was crisp. They finished plays with 33 assists, and they only coughed the ball up 10 times after 39 turnovers across the first 2 games. This is the version of the Houston Rockets that truly makes sense out there on the floor. Durant is able to make the defense really work hard to stop just him, which allows Şengün to run more offense from the middle of the floor like a quarterback. The wings can sprint out in transition, and everybody moves the ball without forcing the issue, because there's always going to be an open look. When the Rockets are able to take care of that and bring their defensive identity, the offense feels inevitable. And the crazy part is how they're not even whole yet. Dorian Finney-Smith still hasn't played a game, and he is going to be the perfect 5th piece to close out games. He's a corner 3-point specialist who's really great at communicating on defense, and he can space the floor when KD gets trapped. I think when they add DFS into the mix, they might have one of the best closing lineups in the league. But the weak spot right now for Houston is at the point guard position, especially with Fred VanVleet out for basically the whole season. Reed Shepherd's been given a lot of extra minutes to handle that role, but it's been a really rough adjustment so far. When he's on the floor, Houston have a minus 6.9 net rating. Offensively, they're only scoring about 114 points per 100 possessions, which ranks basically in the middle of the pack. And defensively, they've been bleeding points with Shepherd on the floor, giving up nearly 121 points per 100 possessions, which puts them basically at the bottom of the league. The turnovers have also been a massive issue. He's averaging over 2 a game, but the bigger problem is how the offense completely breaks down when he's out there. When Shepherd plays, 19% of Houston's possessions end in a giveaway, which is one of the worst rates in the league, in the 3rd percentile. Now, to be clear, this kid has so much potential. You can really see flashes of him playing great basketball when he's out there, but it just feels like it's way too much right now. Way too soon to ask him to step up and run point guard for a team with legitimate championship aspirations. The Rockets are clearly in win now mode. I mean, they just traded for an old Kevin Durant. And if they want to stay on track, a trade for a steadier hand at point guard feels like it's something that is definitely still on the table. That being said, the Rockets are already getting plenty of playmaking now from Kevin Durant and Alperen Şengün, so maybe the trade doesn't get made, but I still think it is certainly worth considering. Now, let's move on to the next team you need to start watching, the Milwaukee Bucks. And as usual, when we talk about Milwaukee, the conversation begins with Giannis. But this year, even by his standards, what he's doing is absurd. Through the first stretch of the season, Giannis is averaging 36 points, 14 boards, 7 assists, and over a block per game on a ridiculous mark of 72% true shooting. Milwaukee has finally leaned into fully giving him the keys in a way that they've never done before. He took 26 shots on opening night, 20 more against the Cavs, and another 22 in the win over New York. And trust me, that's all intentional. Some people might think it's fully out of necessity, like Milwaukee basically have no other options. But this has been the game plan all along. Ever since the offseason started, their entire game plan has been leaning towards giving Giannis the ball as much as possible and putting a ton of three-point shooting around him, clearing the runway, letting him go downhill, and forcing defenses to basically pick their poison. Even Giannis said this himself. He's never been able to get a one-on-one inside as much as he's been able to do so far this season. He's getting isolation looks consistently down low, and when the help does come, there's always a great shot waiting somewhere on the perimeter. And from there, he's either making the pass or just finishing through guys anyway because he's just that good. Milwaukee has basically found its own version of Moneyball. There's no good defensive answer for this setup. If you clog the lane, he kicks it out to some of the best three-point shooters in the league. I mean, they were literally the most effective three-point shooting team in basketball only a season ago. But if you stay home on the shooters, well, he's shooting 72% true shooting. So either way, you're going to lose. And the numbers with Giannis on the floor are absolutely wild so far. The Milwaukee Bucks have a 125.7 offensive rating when Giannis is out there, which ranks in the 93rd percentile league-wide for an offense. What's even more impressive is how they're not sacrificing defense to do this. Their defensive rating in those minutes are very respectable, sitting at 113.1, putting them above average on both sides of the floor. That combination gives Milwaukee a plus 12.6 net rating with Giannis on the floor so far this season. And honestly, these numbers look very similar to what we typically see out of title contenders. With Point Giannis running the show, the Bucks look like one of the best offensive systems in basketball. And the crazy part about all of this is how they still have so much room to grow on both sides of the floor, especially as Giannis and Miles Turner get even more comfortable together. Now, Miles Turner has had a pretty rough shooting start, no question about it. He only had 5 points in 30 minutes against the Knicks, and on the season, he's shooting just 23% from deep. But even with the shot not falling, his impact has been mammoth for this Bucks team. Milwaukee has a plus 13.7 net rating when Turner's on the floor, an offensive rating of 122, and a defensive rating of 108.3. Both numbers that absolutely scream title contender. And once that three-point percentage starts climbing back up to the high 30s, the range we all know that he's usually hitting at, this team is going to be even more of a nightmare to guard. The role players have also been quietly fantastic. AJ Green, Gary Trent Jr., and Cole Anthony have all stepped up and given the team really good minutes, shooting, energy, and pace. But the biggest surprise so far has been Ryan Rollins. With Kevin Porter Jr. only seeing the floor for 7 minutes so far this season before going down with an ankle sprain, Rollins has stepped in and might have actually earned the starting point guard spot for good. Against the New York Knicks, he exploded for 25 points in just 26 minutes, went 4 of 4 from 3, added 4 assists and 4 steals, as he just genuinely looked like he belonged. There's a stat that I saw floating around that he's currently leading the league in deflections. This guy's defensive activity, combined with his ability to attack off the dribble and put real pressure on the rim, gives Milwaukee a new dimension on both sides of the floor that they've really been missing. Even the veterans off the bench, like Bobby Portis, Taurean Prince, and even Kyle Kuzma, have actually done their job pretty well so far. This team looks connected. They know exactly what they're trying to do, and they still haven't even seen a full game out of Kevin Porter Jr. yet, who was incredible for this team last season. When he's back and Miles Turner starts hitting his shots at a better rate, I think Milwaukee has another gear that they can go to that they haven't even touched yet. Now, the third team that you need to start watching is the Philadelphia 76ers, because apparently they may never lose again. Okay, obviously that's a joke, but still, This start has came completely out of left field. I mean, nobody saw this coming. The Sixers are now 4-0, and they've honestly been one of the most fun teams to watch in the league so far. Tyrese Maxey has been leading the charge, opening the season with 40 on opening night, and somehow managing to improve from there. He's averaging 37.5 points per game, 8.3 assists and a steal per game on absurd efficiency, 47% from 3, 87% from the line, and a true shooting mark of 62%. That is superstar caliber numbers. I don't think anybody summed it up better than Kenny Beecham. He said, "How do you stop him when he's shooting 50% from 3 on 10 attempts per game? I dare you to close out hard as well, because he's going to blow right by you for a layup." And right there is the problem that teams are facing. Maxey unlocked this loophole where there's no right defensive answer when it comes to guarding him. He's way too quick for someone to try and come up and really guard him. And he's now too good of a shooter for anybody to sag off. Once the jumper has started to fall, everything is opening up. And that's been the biggest reason behind Philadelphia's 4-0 start to the season. But what makes it even more exciting is how it's not the only reason. Rookie VJ Edgecombe has been phenomenal. He's averaging 22 points per game after that record-breaking 34-point debut in Boston, where he lit the Celtics up on their home floor. This kid just plays with total confidence. He does not look like a rookie out there. Then you've got Joel Embiid, who's actually back playing basketball, and even though it's on a minutes restriction, he has still shown some really promising moments, like his 25 points in 23 minutes against the Wizards. If they're able to continue this minutes restriction and keep him fresh all season, this could actually turn them into a playoff problem once again. And the wild part about all of this is how the supporting cast has been really good too. Kelly Oubre and Quentin Grimes are both giving you about 18 points per game so far, providing Philadelphia with multiple reliable scoring options on the wings, while also being able to be good defensively too. This Sixers team are playing fast, athletic, and unselfish basketball. Exactly the opposite of what we've seen from them in past years. Then add in what's still coming. Paul George is expected to come back pretty soon, and if he can get back to anything like the guy that we recognize, then that would take this team to a complete new level as well. Jared McCain, who gave them 15 points per game last season as a rookie, also hasn't played a game this season either. So you're talking about an undefeated team with the league's best scorer, a breakout rookie, and multiple big names yet to even play a game yet. I mean, Philadelphia are one of the most fun teams to watch right now, and the craziest part about this is how they're only getting started. But we need to see if they're able to continue this kind of form over the course of an 82-game season. Now, the fourth team you need to start watching are the San Antonio Spurs, because they might actually be legit. It feels like they weren't supposed to be this good yet, but right now, they're proving otherwise. Their defense has been unbelievable, holding opponents to just 106 points per 100 possessions, which ranks in the 88th percentile league-wide. Offensively, they've been just as impressive, putting up 121.6 points per 100, with a point differential of plus 15.6 that puts them in the 93rd percentile. All of that has added up to an undefeated 4-0 start. And of course, the biggest reason for all of this is Victor Wembanyama. He's averaging 31 points per game, 13.8 rebounds, 1.5 steals, and an unbelievable mark of 4.8 blocks per game on 60% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from 3, and a true shooting percentage of 68%. These are absurd numbers, good enough to see him take home the Western Conference Player of the Week. Some of the plays that Wemby's been able to make out there just don't even look real. And what's crazy is that when you isolate just his minutes, the numbers become flat out ridiculous. With Wembanyama on the floor, San Antonio has a defensive rating of 94.3, which is in the 99th percentile, while their offense is still producing 120 points per game over 100 possessions. That adds up to a plus 26 net rating when he's on the floor. Those are dynasty numbers. Wemby's basically bending the laws of basketball, but he's not doing it alone. He's got real help. Dylan Harper, the second overall pick of the draft just gone, has already been massive for this team off the bench. His third game against Brooklyn was the real breakout. 20 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds without a single turnover, making him the youngest guard in NBA history to ever post a 25-5 game without a single turnover. On the season, he's averaging just under 15 points per game on an efficient mark of 57% true shooting, and he already looks like he could be the long-term fit next to Wemby. Then you've got Stephon Castle, who's coming off winning the Rookie of the Year last season, and he's continuing to build on that foundation. Right now, he's averaging 18 points, 6 rebounds, nearly 5 assists per game, and over a steal on 57% true shooting. If Castle can start really knocking down that 3 ball with a bit more consistency, this dude is going to be really great for this Spurs team, because the rest of his game, the playmaking, the defense, and the slashing ability, it's already really great for the team. But the 3-point shot is the last part of his game to make him almost a full complete player already. And now they're also about to get an all-star back into the mix. De'Aaron Fox should be returning soon, and he's the kind of player who could take this team from a really fun league pass team to being a genuine playoff threat. His numbers last season in San Antonio weren't very impressive. About 19 points per game on pretty bad efficiency. But that was back when they were still figuring things out, and he was also dealing with a broken finger. But now, with an off season to really come to grips with the system and recover from that hand injury, I think he's going to get back to the mid-20s in points per game on pretty good efficiency once again. And if he's able to do that, that changes everything. Of course, Victor Wembanyama is still the key. He is going to dictate just how far they can go. But the scary thing is how the roster already looks great around him. I'm trying hard not to overreact because it's only been 4 games out of an 82-game season, and the schedule really hasn't even been that brutal yet. But even with that context, they've passed almost every single test that they've been given so far. I just cannot wait to see them go up against one of the real heavyweights, like an Oklahoma City, New York, or Denver, because if their defense can hold up against those teams while being able to find enough offense against that elite competition, then yeah, the Spurs might actually be legit right now. But we have to wait and see. The 5th team you need to start watching this season are the Miami Heat. Coming into this season, pretty much everybody had the exact same opinion of them. They're going to compete, they'll play hard like they always do, and they're probably going to hang around in that playoff range. But offensively, it's going to be pretty rough. With Bam Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins, and Kel'el Ware on the court, along with Tyler Hero being sidelined for a while, nobody really expected this group to light up the scoreboard. But none of that has mattered. They've completely defied logic with how well they've started this season. Through the first 4 games, Miami ranks in the 84th percentile for offense, putting up an offensive rating of 122.1, which is absolutely ridiculous when you consider who's not on the floor. They've done it by playing fast, faster than anybody else. They currently lead the NBA in pace, getting up 107.5 shots per game. And it's working because of the ridiculous athleticism and size they have across the board. Wiggins, Jaquez, and Adebayo are flying down the court, pushing tempo. The others are making quick outlet passes, and they are just running teams into the ground right now. It's been chaos, but controlled chaos, and it's just beautiful to watch. What makes this even crazier is how they're doing this, all while missing 3 of their main scoring guards. Tyler Hero hasn't played a game yet. Norman Powell is now sidelined, and rookie Kasparas Yakachunas, who looked fantastic in preseason, also has not made his debut yet because of a groin injury. All 3 of these guys can handle the ball, shoot, and create offense, and somehow Miami are thriving without them. When these guys get back, the offense might actually stabilize, and if they're able to keep this up over the regular season, this team all of a sudden becomes really scary. But that's only half of it, because their defense has still been amazing. This is their calling card, and currently they're holding opponents to just 105 points per 100 possessions. That's the 92nd percentile for defense in the league. Combine that with one of the NBA's best offensive systems so far, and you've got a point differential of plus 17 so far, which ranks in the 95th percentile. That is complete domination on both sides of the floor. The Heat are always a sneaky team that you just can't count out. But right now, they're not sneaking up on anybody. They're announcing themselves as a potential threat. A team that can beat just about anybody right now with how well they've been playing. But they do need to keep this up over the course of the full 82-game regular season and into the playoffs. I'd like to see how Tyler Hero reintegrates into this team, and I wonder whether or not they're actually going to be able to keep up this incredible offense over the course of the next couple of weeks where they don't have Hero or Norm Powell. But credit to them, they've shifted their identity and it's absolutely working. But if you want to see another team that's completely overhauled the way they play and now looks primed to make some playoff noise, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. And if you want to see that full Bucks breakdown video, you can go watch it right now.